Hello everyone and welcome to another movie review by Centipede Geek. In this video I'll be talking about my thoughts and opinions upon the film by the name in the Marvel Universe by the name of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And pretty much what this film is about is it all revolves around, like I said, as the title of the movie references, the Legend of the Ten Rings. This young man's father has these 10 rings. They give him this immense amount of sort of physical, both physical and magical powers, and later on, I don't want to spoil too much, but mild spoilers ahead, he believes he is hearing his wife's voice in this other world, I guess you could say. And Shang-Chi and other characters have to convince him that, hey, this isn't your wife you're hearing. If you do these things, it's going to bring about chaos upon the world. Anyways, that's pretty much just, without spoiling too much, of the Marvel film with the name of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, what did I think about this movie? I really enjoyed this movie. This is another great entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, you would have think by now they would have dove into every possible topic. We've had Spider-Man, we've had Doctor Strange, obviously we've had the Avengers, we've had WandaVision, we've had Loki. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is so huge and broad now that, like I said earlier, you would have think they've covered everything. But this movie shows you that there is uncharted territory there's uncharted territories when it still has to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's especially the case with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And the reason I say that is because this one dove deep into what I would call Chinese mythology, where it told you lots. It has a rich dynamic to it when it comes to Chinese mythology and that whole Legend of the Ten Rings story. I don't want to spoil too much to really give it away, but there's some really cool stuff there at the end. There's some great action sequences. You know, Marvel's always sort of been great when it comes to action sequences, and there's some great, I guess you could say, maybe kung fu moments where there's all sorts of roundhouse kicks and jumping around and throwing people around and punching and kicking, and that's just something I don't think that the Marvel universe has really dug into when it comes to that sort of kung fu fighting style. And I think Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings really dove into that. So, definitely pros about the movie would be definitely the sort of the kung fu fighting style of the movie, and then the Chinese mythology that the movie introduces. What's really cool about this movie too is that it brings us back to a franchise that is over a decade old, the franchise that originally started the introduction into the Avengers universe, and that would be the Iron Man trilogy. It brings us back to specifically Iron Man 3 and the character of the Mandarin, where he is introduced, and it tells us where he's been all this time. And he was a villain in Iron Man 3, and now he becomes more of a comical relief in this movie. I wasn't too fond of him in Iron Man 3. I liked his Mandarin, but then he became more of a joke at the end, I thought. And it wasn't that I really didn't like it. It was just kind of different and very unexpected. But I guess that was the point. And this one, I think, is comedic. Ben Kingsley does a great role. His comedic relief and humor and stuff like that does really good. I really enjoyed his role in this one. So it was really unexpected to see him. We are also, all these films are connected if you think about it. But we are also directly connected to the Doctor Strange universe, as a character from Doctor Strange is introduced in the movie. And then here's some spoilers coming up at the end, and then maybe we get a little bit of a discussion going in the comments below. We have a beacon that's introduced, and this beacon leads them somewhere. We don't exactly know where, but we have Captain Marvel and I believe the Incredible Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, in these scenes, and the after credits scene. Like I said, major spoilers coming up. And they talk about a beacon of some kind. And my only question is where does this beacon lead? Where are they talking about? Are we talking about maybe a problem with Wakanda? Because with the passing of the actor by the name of Chadwick Boseman, very sad when that happened a while back. We're still going to have a Black Panther too, but obviously, for obvious reasons, Chadwick Boseman will not be in the movie. So we'll have a different sort of main character, I guess you could say. So maybe my only theory right now is maybe this beacon they're talking about leads to the place of Wakanda, or maybe it leads somewhere else entirely. It would be nice to see a kind of surprise of where that beacon might be. As I said earlier, sound off in the comment board below and let me know what you guys think about that. beacon and where it might lead. And, obviously, I'm sure there'll be some sort of sequel to eventually to Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings. And in my opinion, I know Phase 4 has already started when it comes to the Avengers universe, and probably in a couple of years we'll have another Avengers film. But in my opinion, this is, for me, is where it officially starts, because these after credits scenes are slowly building to another Avengers movie after Endgame. But in my opinion, because of certain things that have happened in the Marvel Universe and certain characters no longer being alive and stuff like that, I think the next Avengers film is going to be a very different world and a much different Avengers film than we have previously seen with Avengers films. It's going to be a very different film in the way that it's just, in the way the world looks and the way it's produced and everything like that. I think it's going to be a lot different than previous Avengers films, a lot more emotional and stuff like that. But anyways, that's my review of the Marvel Cinematic film by the name of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Definitely would recommend it. Lots of action throughout. And like I said, it has a nice, deep, rich mythology to it too. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. Thanks for watching.